This is the second face cloth in the series of the 6 that I've done. The first 2 are basic, beginner ones. The second 2 are intermediate, and the last 2 are advanced. This one is number 2. I call this one the Staggered Eyelet. As you can see, it's got the little eyelet holes and they're staggered. It's similar to the first one we did where we just did the border only. Here we're doing the field as well as the border. So I wanted to show you what it looks like before we get started. The back has a whole different look because this is the purl side. It's a little bit rougher, so if you wanted to use this side to exfoliate with, that's great, or you can use this side, which is softer. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the second easy one I'm going to do is called the Staggered Eyelet, because as you can see, it's little holes, but they're staggered around, so it forms like an angle or a little V shape. It's not much more added on to the original pattern that we did, which was, where's it at? The eyelets just on the outer edge. This one will have the eyelets on the edge, but every so many rolls it's going to have eyelets all the way through. That's why we're just kind of advancing on the original design for this next one. So I'm going to still use the same type of yarn, the Tatami DK cotton, this one here, but I'm using pink. And I also brought home the blue, and I brought home the bright pink, and I brought home the lavender, and I still got the white. So I'm going to make one out of each color because I have 6 colors. So that way we can see each one. Okay, let's get started. The first thing it says to do is cast on 55 stitches. So about 18 inches is about 25 stitches. So you do about a yard, give or take. If you're doing the long tail cast on, which is what I'm doing. Okay, I've casted on the 55 stitches. I didn't think I needed to show how to cast on because we did that in the last video, and we have other videos out there that shows how to cast on. So we're going to start with the first part. Let me enlarge this here so we can see what we're doing. It says knit 7 rows, increasing 4 stitches evenly across the 7th row. So instead of 55, we're going to have 59. I guess there was a reason why, because I know garter stitch is usually a little wider, I think, than stockinette stitch. So we needed to expand this area just a little bit in order to have it lay flat. So I'll go ahead and do this. I'll get all these 7 rows done, and then we'll come back and start here. Okay, I have 6 rows knitted. Now it said in the 7th row, increase 4 evenly across. So if I divide 55 by 4, it comes out about every 11 stitches. So I'm going to increase on a stitch 11, 22, 33, and 44, and that will give me the 59. So I'll show you the basic increase, because when you're doing the garter stitch, the basic increase looks really good. You can't really see it. It just kind of blends in. So we do 11 of them. On the 11th stitch, we do the increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now stitch 11, we knit in the front and back of the same stitch. So you knit in the front, rotate your needle to the back, yarn over and pull it through. Okay, so that gives us 12 stitches where we originally had 11. So now we do another 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to increase in this one. So knit in the front, rotate around, go into the back of the loop, yarn over and pull it through. Okay, so now I got 2 increases. Now we've got to do 2 more, and then we knit the next row. Then we'll start, then we purl across. So you knit 6, purl to the last 6, knit 6. So I'll go ahead and go all the way through row 2 because the pattern is going to start on row 3. So I'm going to pause the video until I get that little bit taken care of. Okay, I've got that done. I've got the 7 rows of garter plus the increases, and then I purled back on this side. So as you can see, there's the starting of the stockinette stitch right there. So now we're getting ready to start row 3, which is knit 6, knit 2, knit 2 together, yarn over. Now we repeat that to the last 9 stitches and knit 9. The reason why there's an odd number here is because, as you see, they're staggered. So in some cases there's more stitches before you get to the very end, an extra 4 or 5, and in some cases there may not be, because when you do this one here, it should be different. Why is it not showing different? Oh yeah, I see the difference. Here it says knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. Where this one was knit 2, knit 2 together. So where the knit 2 is what causes the variances in the staggering. I haven't done this pattern for quite a while, so I sometimes have to read them myself to see what it is I did. Okay, let's start with row 3. We knit 6. Okay, then it says knit 2, and we repeat what's inside the parentheses. So we knit 2 together, and then yarn over. Now we're going to repeat it. Knit 2, knit 2 together, yarn over. Knit 2, knit 2 together, yarn over. Knit 2, knit 2 together, yarn over. There, I did my quick yarn over. I don't know if you caught it or not, but let's do it again. Knit 2, knit 2 together, yarn over. Knit 2, and you do this all the way across. Knit 2 together, yarn over. Knit 2, knit 2 together, yarn over. Knit 2, knit 2 together, yarn over. Okay, I'm going to complete this all the way across. There's not that much left. When you're only working with less than 60 stitches, it goes pretty quick. Okay, we're getting there. And then after we get these out, oops, I need to count. Let me take these back. Knit 2. Okay, let's see if I have 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, so I have 9 left after that yarn over. So we knit 9. Now on this row, we're not going to see the yarn overs too well, but we're still going to be able to see them. Okay, let's look across. There, you can see the yarn overs. There's one. There's one. So they're random, but yet they're in sequence too. Okay, so now we're going to do row 4, which is knit 6, purl across the last 6, and knit 6. So, and it's only like looks like a 4 to 6 row repeat. Okay, so now we're going to knit 6. Okay, now we're going to purl across to the last 6. Bring the yarn forward. Okay, there's the yarn over I just did. Let me get to the next yarn over and we'll look at it. As you can see, it looks like a mistake. You just purl it like you would purl any other stitch and don't worry about it being a little big. The reason it's big is because we did the yarn over and we made like an open stitch, and that's what gave us our little hole, just like in our first eyelet face cloth we did. And we're getting to the end. We're about halfway now. I know my fingers kind of get in the way. I try not to, but this is the way that I learned to knit, and the muscle memory always puts my thumb right there in the way. But my thumb helps because it pushes the needle down so it can go around. It does that. And it helps keep my thread tensioned, and whoops, I gotta count 2, 4, good. 6 left. Now this side I use the index finger to push it back. So my thumb pushes the purls and my index finger pushes the knits. Okay, so now we've got our first row of holes. So we've done this. Now row 5 is knit, row 6 is purl. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump through those real quick, and I'll meet you back here when I get to row 7. Okay, I have all the way through row 6 done. And as you can see, let me get this paper out of the way. Maybe this dark, there you go. And you can see the eyelets are right in between. I did that roll a knit and then I purled back. So now I'm ready to start row 7, which is knit 6. Now we knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2, and then we go back, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2, and repeat to the last 9. And then the last 9 stitches, we'll knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit 7. That's what gives us this other stagger. We'll see it when we get to it. Okay, let's start with the beginning, which is knit 6. Let me move this up a little bit. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now it says to knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. Okay, we'll do the same thing. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. And repeat it all the way across. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. We'll just keep going. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. I've completed the knit 2 together stitch like that, but before I take it off the needles completely, I just wrap the yarn over the needle. Then when I take it off, I've got my yarn over as well as my knit 2 together. It just saves a little motion. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. Okay, let's count, see if we have 9 left. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, now with the 9 left, it says knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 7. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 7. See, I didn't worry about that last part until I got to it. Never jump too far ahead when you're doing a new pattern, because you'll get more confused than if you just take it step by step. Okay, so now I got my yarn overs and knit 2 together, and as you can see, the knit 2 togethers are staggered. There's one right there from the ones previous. And then see here, this one ends here, but now we have a knit 2 together right here, which gives it the staggered one there. And we look at this end, our first yarn over is there, which is in between these two. Okay, so now it says row 8, knit 6 and purl back. So now we'll knit 6 and then purl to the last 6, and then we'll knit the last 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this row here, row 8, will complete the pattern. And then all we have to do is just follow the directions and repeat it until we get as many repeats as we need to make it into a square. And we'll finish off the top with the same 7 rows of garter, and we'll also see if we have to do that 4-stitch decrease when we get to the bottom, but I'm not worried about that yet because that's not going to happen for a while. I could look at it and see. It doesn't hurt to take a peek, but I know I won't be doing it until about 3 hours from now, because I believe the last one took me between 3 and 3.5 hours to knit from start to finish. Although you only seen 1 hour worth of instruction, there was no need for you to sit there and watch all 3 hours worth. That would be totally ridiculous for me to do as well as for you. I'm trying to make them as efficient and quick as possible, but yet full of all the information you need in order to complete the project. We're getting near the end. And then we'll put it down and look at it. And I may switch to my circular needles because I know it'll make it lay flatter and easier to show you what it looks like if I get it off of these straight needles, just like I did with the last one. And I enjoy working with circular needles more than I enjoy working with straight needles. 2, 4, 6. Okay, I'm down to my last 6. There's 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there we go. Let me move the papers out of the way so we have a darker background to look at. And as you can see, there's the second set of holes up there, and they're staggered between the others. See, the only difference between them is the stitch count and where you do your knit 2 together. And according to the directions, work the 8 rows in the staggered eyelet pattern 7 times, and then work rows 1 through 4 once more. And then row 7, decrease the 4. There's the decrease down to 55. And then you bind off and weave the tails in. Okay, I will talk to you about this when I get there. I really think we should decrease on the first roll of the 7 knit rolls. So I'm going to adjust this a little bit before I put it back out there on the internet. I want to do all 6 of these patterns and check for any little slight variations that might make it a little confusing. So I'm going to add that 1 extra line in there. Just like on the other one I did, instead of doing the 4 or 6 rows of garter stitch, we did 8 and it looked a lot nicer. So I'll come back when I'm about halfway finished. Okay, I'm halfway done. I've done the 4 repeats, and as you can see, I know it's kind of hard to see on the white. Maybe I should take the white out and so you can see it on the brown. Oh, that's much better. Okay, like I said, this is 4 repeats. I still have 4 more repeats to go. Right now I want to measure, and this measures out to about 10.5, almost 11. So for here to here is 6, but it's 5.5 to here. So if I do the 4 more repeats, it's going to make it a square, and then of course I'll finish off the garter stitch at that point. Now I just wanted to show you how did I keep track of what roll I was on, because you could use the page and write all over your page. But sometimes I like to just do it on a piece of paper separately. So I have this little post-it note. Let me enlarge it. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. That's terrible. I'm sorry. Well, I did each row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 repeats. And the first row is straight knit. Second row is purl. The third one is the knit 2 together after the 6. Knit 2 together, yarn over, and repeat that to the last 6. Then the next row is purl, knit, purl, and then the other one, and then ending with a purl. And I put a hash mark every time I did each of the rows. So as you can see, I have 4 hash marks on each of these 8 rows. So I've done my 8 row repeat. So when I get started again, I'll start with row 1, which is all knit, and then row 2 is the knit 6, purl to the last 6, knit 6, and row 3 is knit 6, and then do this repeat to the last 6, and then the next row is knit 6, purl to the last 6, yes, and it just goes all the way down, and you check off the boxes. So once I get these last 4 repeat rows done, I'll be back and talk to you about how this will be finished up. Okay, I've done the 7 repeats. As you can see, it's done. And I went ahead and did rows 1 through 2 after I did the 7 repeats. I found 4 rows was way too many. Now it says to knit 7 rows, decreasing 4 stitches evenly across the second row. So that would be on the purl side. So I've already done row 1 of the knit. So this would be row 2 of the knit, which is the garter. And I have to do a decrease. So I decrease stitch 10 and 11. So we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. You knit the 2 together. Okay, so that's the first decrease. Okay, so now we do the next decrease. So we go on number 10 and 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do it on 11 and 12. I think that'd be a smarter one to do it on. So, okay, that's the second decrease. Now I got to do 2 more. So I count 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So decrease 11 and 12. They don't have to be exactly perfectly even, but as close as possible, because you don't want it to look all lopsided where all the decreases are done on closer to one side and not the other. 7, 8, 9, 10. Knit 2 together. And as you see, it's going to come out just about right. So it would be decreases stitch 11 and 12 together. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, it worked out just about right. If I had done 11 and 12 on the first one, it'd be just 1 stitch closer. Okay, so there I've got my first garter stitch row, and it said to do a total of 7, and I've got 2 done, so I still got 5 more to do, and then it'll be time to do the decrease. So I'll come back after I get those last 5 done. Okay, I'm just about done with row 7. I thought I'd go ahead and finish the last row here, and then I can show you where I'm at. Okay, so that would be row 7, which is really close to doing this. If we did an extra row, it probably would make it a little bit too wide, so I'm going to leave it at 7. Now it says to bind off and weave in tails. So we'll do the standard bind off like we did the last time, where you would knit 2, try to knit loose, because you want your bind off to be loose. And if for any reason you can't bind off loose with the needle that you're using, go up 1 size in your needle. Like right now I'm using a 6. If I was binding off kind of tight, I would take it up to a size 7 needle. Then I would know that it would be a little bit looser. Now I do have a YouTube video out there on how to bind off loose, looser, and very loose. You can always watch that. That way you can use the same needle and just make it a little bit looser. It's just the way you would do your stitches. So I'm about a quarter of the way through. Since I did decrease the 4 stitches, I'm back down to 55, where I needed to be. Well, you've seen me do that. So that's pretty well this whole pattern. There's really not much left. It was so straightforward, similar to the first one. It's just instead of the eyelets around the border, the eyelets were through the inside or the field of the washcloth itself. Now the next one I do is going to be on the intermediate side, which will be a little bit more decorative. So each one kind of builds on the next one. So they kind of help you get used to doing each of the stitches. Hopefully you'll be able to do all 6 of them, even right up to the experienced one or the advanced one, which has the SSKs and the knit 2-togethers, which gives you the open lacier look. Now, not everybody wants a lacy face cloth, but each to their own. So I'm just about done. Gee whiz, this is going really fast. But still trying to keep it loose. And as soon as I get this one posted, I'll go ahead and start working on the next one. They take me one night a piece, usually 3 to 4 hours. This one, I've been at it for about 4 hours, which isn't too bad considering how big this one is. I think the first one I did was closer to 9 inches, where I think this one's closer to 10. And like I said before, if you want to make it smaller, you can just reduce the pattern. The pattern is 3 stitches, no, 4 stitches. You got your knit 2-together, which is 2 stitches, and one of them will be a yarn over, and then you knit 2, so that's 4-stitch pattern. So if you wanted to reduce the size of this, you would reduce it by 4 stitches. So instead of casting on 55, you would cast on 51, but you still would increase it by 4. And then when you're done, you would decrease it by the same 4 to make it back down to 51. And if 51 wasn't quite right, you could always take it down to 47, because that would be 4 more stitches. So you can make it the mini size you want. If you want them a rectangle, just repeat the pattern 1 through 8 rolls until you get the length that you're looking for. Okay, all I have left now is, if I can get the final bind off. Oh, slip it through and pull it tight. Okay. I didn't bring my needle in with me, so I won't be able to actually show you the bind off part. But as you can see, there is the washcloth. All done. Let's see what the overall size is. Now, if you wash this, you can block it, and that way you'll get a nice even square, although it doesn't look too bad now. I've got it roughly 10 inches. This is 10.5 this way, so I probably could have reduced it by 1 set of patterns. That would be something that you would be able to figure out if you did a second one. Make a note on your pattern here. Instead of doing 7 times, you could do only 6 times, and that would reduce it by about 1/2 inch. So that's something else you can do. Now the next one we're going to work on is called, let me enlarge this, it's called Bluebell Rib Face Cloth. It's a really cute little design. It has little tucks right there, which gives it a little bit of texture on the front. So we'll start that one next. If you enjoyed my video, please subscribe and hit notifications so next time I have another one done, you'll be one of the first to know about it, and also share with your friends. The pattern will be on my website, and I think Ravelry.com as well as StitchNitch.com. I do want to make the corrections before I resubmit it. So after you see the 6th pattern, you'll know by then it'll be correct on the internet, and you can download a correct copy versus a copy that's still missing a few notes. Thank you for watching.